Hi everyone, welcome. I'm glad to see you. And this is the kind of the episode when I have a lot of time and I can do whatever I want because this is my Peter's Sunday Ramble episode. Yay! Hi everyone. Yes, of course, it's as I call Peter's Sunday 1 hour ramble episode because I want to ramble for 1 hour without any kind of preparation. I want to survive 1 hour talk in English with myself, and it's the live stream. Yes, people, it's my YouTube live stream, and it's Ramble episode. Yay! Let's start with the slogan: Learn English, be successful, change your life, open a lot of doors, create your own podcast, write your own novel. You don't need to be talented because learning English is for everyone. Hi everyone, I'm Peter. I'm 45 years old. I live in East Slovakia with my parents in our house. And my hobby is learning English. I've been learning English since August 2023 until now. And you can see that I've really improved my English, and learning English is my hobby. I like watching movies and series in English. I like to listening to my favorite English podcasts and audiobooks in English. I like making my podcast, my Peter's English podcast, and my own vampire saga, my own novel, Vera the Vampire Diary. Okay, people, this was the introduction. It was 2 minutes. And now I have a lot of time and I can start. I'm glad to see you. And the main goal is simple: just talk, talk, and talk, and talk for 1 hour without stopping, without preparation, and just do it. Okay, hi everyone, and we can start. I can, Peter, just talk, and the first section or first part is from the kitchen of Peter's English podcast. Dun, da, da, da! Yes, uh, people and Peter, I want to talk about the total statistics of Peter's English podcast on of my Spotify for creators app, and I'm I have a very great news because I think that on when I think yesterday, no, yesterday, yes, on yesterday, I've reached 3,000 total streams or downloads everywhere in every podcast app except YouTube. Yay! And today I have 3017 total streams or downloads everywhere in every podcast app except YouTube. Yay! Thank you guys. I want to thank you for your listening. I'm very glad that you like my podcast. And the good thing is that my numbers are increasing the whole time. Yay! Thank you, people. And now we can continue with the YouTube. No. We can continue with Spotify statistics because my full HD video podcast is only on YouTube and on my Spotify. And on Spotify, I have 14 followers. Thank you, guys. Thank you, my followers. The next thing is, and now is the most funniest thing is, the majority of my Spotify audience are women in my age. Thank you, girls. Thank you, girls and boys. And but I'm so happy, and it's funny. Who knows? Who knows why girls like my podcast more than boys on Spotify? Who knows? And I have in total 525 total streams or downloads only on Spotify. That's great number. Thank you guys. And the most funny situation is that the majority of my audience, as I said before, are girls in my age from Slovakia. Great. And now the listening. And listening hours. Yes, the number. I want to talk about my total hours of watching my Peter's English podcast only for Spotify, and I have 17 hours of total watching only on Spotify. People, can you imagine that my podcast was streamed for 17 hours only on Spotify, and the biggest majority of my audience are girls that think girls, and mostly girls and men and boys watched my podcast for 17 hours. Thank you guys, thank you girls, thank you, and thank you boys for watching my podcast. I'm so glad that you like it, and I was so shocked that 17 hours of watching my podcast I have only on Spotify. That people have listened my podcast for 17 hours. That's great. This is the number only for Spotify. That's perfect. I'm so glad, and I'm so happy. Thank you guys. And the next thing is that the most successful episodes in top 10 are mostly learn English with Peter with the study and learn mode of Microsoft Copilot. That means that thanks to Copilot, my numbers, my total statistics of my Spotify for Creators account are increasing the whole time. Thank you, Copilot. Yes, people. Yes, I want to simply tell you that my audience like learn English with Peter because it's a very funny and wild comedy show about learning English with the study and help with the study and learn mode of Microsoft Copilot, because Copilot is very funny. It's humor. It's really great, and the situation and the format of Learn English with Peter is very simple. The first part is about study and learn mode of Microsoft Copilot. Microsoft Copilot always explains every kind of English grammar that I choose, and it can explain it very good. And then in the 8, I always generate very funny, wild, and crazy 500 word story inspired by my novel Virat the Vampire Diary. And Peter, don't be scared of your webcam where I was. Try to watch, try to breathe and be calm. Look, people like your podcast. That's great. And doesn't care. The most important thing is that you like. Yes, I like doing my podcast, and that's the main thing. But I want to return to the topic that I was talking, and where I was. Yes, I forgot. Oh, perfect, Peter. That's so great. Yes, I was talking about the yes, I was talking about learn English with Peter, and the second part. Now I know the second part, the last part of my format of episode of Learn English with Peter are about funny 500 word crazy story with full of fun and crazy dialogues, and it may be the main reason, the second main reason why people like this kind of episodes. And yes, of course, people like to watch English learning episodes that are interesting educational and very funny. And the main thing is that this kind of episodes are always picture in picture. What it means? It means that people can see two pictures. The biggest one is my chat with Microsoft Copilot, and the little one is of the picture of myself. Yes, and that's great. People can listen. No, people can watch and watch my live stream or my recordings. They can read and they can learn with me. And the good thing that people don't care about my little picture of my face, but people can 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 read it, of course. And that's great. And now I'm thinking, people, I have to tell you that it was a very good idea to create this new era of Peter's English podcast. And what is the main the new era? The new era of Peter's English podcast is about adding picture in picture mode episodes into my podcast, because I used to stream and record my live streams only in this mode, where I only read everything from the mobile, from my mobile, from the chat, and you couldn't see anything except myself. But then I decided that the best idea is to add it, is to add, is to change it, and I created my new era, and I simply started my new era of Peter's English podcast since Christmas 2026, and the next part of this new era is my new gear. Yes, I mean my new Connect IT LED light, LED studio light with my professional headphones. That means that I can professionally control my voice during the live stream, and the sound is correct thanks to the right settings of my microphone and the OBS microphone settings, and that's great. And I did the right thing, that I created the publication day of Peter's English podcast, that it's every Friday of week B. And why? Because you cannot do everything in one day when you are doing your podcast. It's simply impossible to write new chapter of your novel, then to stream it, then to chat with AI chatbots because you want to publish it, and then and everything takes the whole day. No, it cannot be so. I was so overwhelmed during the last Christmas, but after creating this system that I called the new era of Peter's English podcast, now it's better, and it's very good that I added mainly picture in picture mode episodes. And then I can explain you again that I have three kind of episodes. The first is PEEP mode, learn English with Peter, that are educational, funny, and wild episodes about learning English with the study and learn mode of Microsoft Copilot. These kind of episodes are the most popular kind of episodes of my podcast, and I'm very happy. The second format is picture in picture mode storytelling episode about Vera's universe, and the third kind of episodes are Peter's Sunday 1 hour Ramble episodes, where I try to survive for 1 hour without stopping talking, and that's great. And I did this so many times that I'm professional. Yeah, I'm professional now. And yes, people, I've discovered that As I said many in the last ramble, that if you do your live stream, you have to watch the record screen of your uh, live stream software. Why? Because people uh, like to watch at each other during conversations, and it works for me. If you don't need to do it, you don't need to do it. Yes, because I know many people can say, Peter, but you have to watch it on your webcam. Yes, I'm trying to do because I need this support. Yes, this is the support. Because I alone here, and it works. It works for me. And I'm thinking about the next fourth kind of episodes, Peter's talk show, and Peter's talk show can be about the conversation with my possible guests, but I don't have any. But who knows? Maybe in the future I can have guests. And okay, I can return to the Spotify for Creator statistics. That I'm so happy that 17 my audience only on Spotify uh, watched me for 17 hours, and that's great. That's simply great. And I'm very, very happy that in total I have 3017 total streams or downloads everywhere except YouTube. And now the countries. As you know, in Slovakia, for the first time I can say it, Peter, don't do it, because everyone can escape away. That the most majority of my audience are girls in my age from Slovakia. That do you know that? But the total countries, uh, don't Peter, don't stop talking. Simply continue. I was only thinking that simply I want to tell you, Peter, try to be simple. Okay, I try, and let's stop. I simply want to tell you the total statistics of countries, and uh, the biggest country of Peter's English podcast is where people like listening or watching listening my Peter's English podcast is the USA. Thank you guys from the USA. Thank you for your listening. I'm so happy that you like my content. It's something amazing. I'm so happy and I'm so proud of myself that people from the USA, the Native American English speakers, understands me, my English. That means the biggest country of listening of Peter's English podcast is the USA. Thank you guys. The second place is for Vietnam. That's still great. Thank you guys for Vietnam. The third place is for Japan. Yay! Thank you guys. And I'm so proud of myself that people in the USA and in Vietnam and in Japan understand my English. Yes, people. And now the percent, that means the total percent of this number, 3017 total streams or downloads everywhere. The biggest number is um, uh, is for the USA, because the USA have 34% of this total number. That's great. And I think that Vietnam with Japan have 13 and 14%, and Slovakia is fourth with 6% or something like that. That means that the majority of my audience are in total are people from the USA. That means native English speakers. I mean American English native speakers. Thank you guys, and I'm great that you like my content. Thank you very much. Thank you everyone. And the main goal of this podcast is practicing my speaking skills in English. and it's my hobby. This is the second thing, because I like uh, to publish my novel Via the Empirical Diary, because it's my hobby. I like to practice my speaking skills in English, and I like doing my podcast, my Peter's English podcast. It's my hobby, and I like to do it. And I can see that my podcast is growing for every day. Today in the morning I have only 3004, and now I have 3017. That's great. But the most funniest situation is that my novel, Via the Empirical Diary, with, wait a minute, with now six, how many episodes I did? Aha, first, wait a minute, the first, in total, wait a minute, my first season has 30 chapters, second season has 28 chapters, that means 58, and now my third season has 6 chapters. I did wait a minute, 64 chapters of my novel Via the Vampirical Diary in general, of my novel Via the Vampirical Diary in general, but in top 10 is not Vera's universe. That's great. That's very funny. But I'm glad that you like my format, my most popular format, Learn English with Peter. But you can discover my old fairy tales that you can watch or listen, and you can watch or listen my novel Via the Vampirical Diary. Perfect. And now I want to introduce again Via the Vampirical Diary. I can, or wait a minute, can I talk about it right now? Yes, I want to do it because it's the main flagship novel of my podcast. And what is it about? Via the Vampirical Diary is a comedy sitcom series. It has 3 seasons. First season has 30 chapters. Season 2 has 28 chapters, and season 3 has 6 chapters. And every story is different, of course, but you have to start with season 1. And now, what is it about in general? Via the Vampirical Diary is a comedy sitcom. It's a parody sitcom series. It's a strong satire and parody of my life, because how can I tell you? I like to make fun of dominant, strict people who like to to give orders everyone. and and yes, I like to make fun of girls, because in my world girls like to have power, girls like to give orders and so on. And I was inspired by my life, and I was inspired uh, by the novel by Bram Stoker, Dracula. Yes, because I'm fascinated of female vampires, and I was fascinated by Dracula's female vampire brides. I don't know if you read the novel. It's very good. It's the first novel about vampires. It's the horror about vampires. It's a Victorian Gothic horror, and I was fascinated of the girls, because I always think that girls are beautiful female vampires who can use their beauty for drinking men's energy and money, and they like to steal their properties. They like to give orders, and was the main reason why I created Via the Vampirical Diary, because I'm fascinated and I like to make fun of the strict girls in general, because as I said before, I like to make fun of girls in general, because I think that they are very strict, dominant, and they like to give orders, as I said before. And the my novel has a lot of funny dialogues, and the main character is Vera. She is the female vampire from East Slovakia. She lives with her family, I mean with her vampire family, and she's strict, dominant, dangerous. She likes to use her beauty for using men, but she's a positive female character, and I did myself for the fun in because I like to because I like to make fool of myself too, and I added myself to the story because I like to describe this strong parody, this strong satire, where I wanted to show you, and I like to make fun the situations where girlfriends like to give orders their boyfriends or husbands, and they like to have power and be dominant. And Vera is dominant, strict. She likes to give orders. She uses her beauty, and she's dangerous. And yeah, she's bad. We men like bad girls, and she is bad girl a little. Uh, she's sweet, bad vampire girl, but she's a positive hero. And I added to her that she's vampire goddess. Yes, because I'm fascinated of girls with the uh, with the power, who like to give orders, because in today's world girls in general have power in Slovakia or in the modern Western democratic countries. And but I didn't make fun of this kind of women. No, no, no. I like to make fun of girls in general, how they behave to their partners. Yes, this is all about. It's about uh, female dominant behavior to their partners. Yes, yes. And this was the main reason. And I like to create parody of my life, where Vera is strict, dominant, and she likes to give orders, and Peter has to do everything as she said. And when Peter did something different, she's crazy, she's shouting, and she likes to mocking him like it's in the reality. For us man, I don't mean myself because it's not true, but I always think in the romantic relationship that in general, and I like to make fun of romantic relationship between men and women, that the woman is the general, is the leader, she is the queen of this romantic relationship, and she likes to give orders. Only she is right, and the man has to do everything as she said, and man has to be quiet and do everything as she said. Yes, I like to make fun of this situation, and I like to make fun of this kind of behavior, and this is the main kind of romantic relationship between Peter and Vera the vampire girl, and this is the main reason why Vera is the goddess. Because as I said before, for a lot of times, that I'm fascinated of women's of yes, because I want to tell you that Vera is Peter's goddess. Yeah, because I like to make fun of romantic relationship between man and wife, where women are men's goddess, and their husbands or boyfriend has to worship them, and like the real female goddess. Yeah, like make fun of it and so on. If you want to read it, you can find it on my Wattpad account or in my website peterenglishpodcast.com. And now I've been streaming for 30 minutes. And now I want to talk about Peter's English Podcast website. As you know, I don't know if you know, but my Peter's English Podcast website was a big mess. What does it mean? There were a lot of rubbish. I mean the premium theme of my WordPress hosting website service was about rubbish. Yes, you know, this kind of companies, every company who likes to make marketing, this is normal. But I'm not very happy that I found this marketing as in the paid theme of my WordPress website, peterenglishpodcast.com, and I had to delete it all. I mean, this nonsense, and there were a lot of rubbish. I mean, there were a lot of posts, and they were only and they looked like a blog. Yes, and I decided that my peterenglishpodcast.com, my website, has to be the official fan page on my novel Vira the Vampire Diary. I kept only my free fan pages of my free seasons of my novel, and I added into it free embedded podcast players of my Peter's English Podcast main playlist, and it's only one. And you can use YouTube embed player, Spotify embed player, and because you can watch my podcast, the whole podcast playlist on YouTube or on Spotify, or you can only listen my whole podcast playlist on Pocket Cast. And I added it to every season. I mean, I added it into every fan page of my every season of my novel, and every season, I mean every fan page of my season of my every season of my novel contains the whole novel. I mean all chapters for this season. That means the fan page of season 1 has all 40 chapters that you can read. The season 2 has all 28 chapters, and the season 3 has now 5 chapters, but I want to add chapter 6 during the next publication day of Peter's English Podcast, that is now on 1st May 2026 of week. It's Friday of week B, of course. What else? Okay. And what I want, yes, I want to continue with my Peter's English Podcast website. Now it's the official fan page of Vira the Vampire Diary. It looks perfect because the main top theme of my website looks like the website of streamer or YouTuber or podcaster, and the colors are looked and the colors look perfectly because it looks like the official fan page of Vira the Vampire Diary, because I don't need Peter simply continue what you wanted to tell your audience, and I want to blah 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 blah. Okay, and I want to see Peter calm down. And now I want to continue. Okay, people, I simply want to tell you that I decided to keep only my official fan pages of my all seasons of my novel. And now the podcast web page looks perfectly. And yes, I I discovered right now what I wanted to tell you, that I don't need to do fan pages for Learn English with Peter, and I don't want to create a fan page for Peter's Ramble episodes, because simply you can visit my website petersenglishpodcast.com. You can discover that it's the official fan page of Yara the Vampire Diary. You can visit the fan page of season 1 or season 2 or season 3, and you can discover free embed players, YouTube embed player, Spotify embed player, or Pocket Cast embed player, and these embed players contain the whole official Peter's English podcast playlist with every episode, and that's great. I don't need to create fan pages for other kind of episodes, because you can visit the fan pages of my all 3 seasons of my novel. You can read it, you can have fun, you can watch it, or you can listen to and read in the same time. You don't need to visit other podcasts. You don't need to visit other podcast apps, or you don't need to visit Spotify. You can simply start play into this fan page of my website, and you can read in the same time, and that's great. And what else? Oh, I've been streaming for 36 minutes. Okay, my main goal is clear. I want to stream my Peter's Sunday 1 hour Ramble episode for 1 hour. And what is the next topic? Yay! What else? Yes, I decided, people, to tell the big news from from the Peter's listening kitchen. And what it means? It means that you know that my favorite English podcasts are free English podcasts. And I want to tell you about something about it right now. My favorite English podcasts are Peter's English. Yes, of course, that Peter's English podcast is my podcast. No, I like to listen to Luke's English podcast, All is English podcast, and Speak English podcast now with Georgiana. And I want to tell you great news that I successfully finished. I successfully managed the listening to a whole Luke's English podcast free archive. Yes, I started to listen Luke's English podcast free archive. See, since August 2023, and I finish it on on Wednesday of this week, and I listened to 984 free episodes. Yay! I'm so proud. I'm so proud of myself that I successfully finished the whole LEP episode. Yes, of course, the most of the time I was so tired after my after my work that I slept the most of my archive. But I listened to a lot of episodes during my weekends, or during the time when I was okay, when I had a lot of energy, and I decide now I want to proudly introduce you my official Luke's English podcast Peter's listening plan. And what it means, I listened to, since August 2023 until now, only Luke's English podcast free archive. What is Luke's English podcast? Luke's English podcast is and British English podcast about natural British English, how it's spoken. The main host is English teacher from the UK, from London, Luke Thompson, and he's very good English teacher. He's funny, and his Luke's English podcast is about his famous rambles, about his storytelling episode, and about the interviews, about the interview with his friends and family and his hosts. And Luke is very funny in his Luke's English podcast, and you can listen natural British English with Luke's humor and fun, and it's very funny, and I simply recommend you to do it. And if you want to practice natural American English, listen Always English. It's my second favorite English podcast because you can practice the natural American English conversation between American English native speakers, and that's great. The girls are great from Always English. And the fourth is Speak English Podcast Now with Georgiana. She is the host of her American English podcast, and it's about American English. And now I want to continue with my plan, because I decided that I want to continue with the listening to whole archive. I mean the whole Luke's English podcast free archive again. And why? Because I can improve my English, because LEP free archive is about natural British English, how it's spoken. Luke's English podcast is great and very funny and educational British English podcast about British English and British culture. You can listen natural British English conversations between British English native speakers. Luke is very funny, is very good. Every episode has at least 1 hour, and Luke has created 984 free episodes that I finished. And I decided to start my listening of LEP because I'm Labster. Hi Luke, thank you for a great job. You are very great English teacher, and very good and very good Peter, don't stop it. Yes, simply Luke, you are a great podcaster, and your Luke's English podcast is the best English podcast for learners of English. Thank you very much for your great job. And I want to tell you all that, and Peter, don't be shy. Oh, I've been streaming for 43 minutes. I decided to start again the listening of the whole Luke's English podcast free archive from episode 1 until the end. But I want to continue with the new episodes of LEP, of Luke's English podcast on YouTube, and I want to watch it on YouTube instantly after Luke release them, and then I want to continue with my plan. And my plan is very simple. I want to start again listening of LEP free archive from episode 1 until the end, and I want to listen to it every workday of week B. I want to listen to it every weekend, and I want to start to listen LEP Premium, and I want to listen to it every workday of week A. And why I decided to buy LEP Premium? It's not okay, now people, simply calm down. It's not a paid advertisement. I simply want to recommend you because I'm Labster, and I am the proud Labster of LEP Premium, and I decided to pay for it and use it because it's about real Luke's English lessons that you, because Lux English Podcast Premium it is about Lux serious English English teaching, and this LP Premium is really good for your English, and I decided to start to using because I've been paid it for 1 year without using it, and I did it today. Yes, people, today I listened to first 6 episode of LEP free archive until finishing the whole archive. And I want to listen to it LEP free archive forever from episode 1 until the end of the archive the whole time, again and again and again, without stopping, because I can improve my English. But I decided to start to use LEP Premium because it's great for my English, and I did it. And I listened to Premium 1 and Premium 2, and I want to do it every workday of week B. It's great for my English, and this, of course, I don't want to listen LEP free with LEP Premium in one day. It's simply impossible because every episode of LEP is long. But I have this system, and the main goal is to listen to LEP Premium at least one day of week B. Of week A, yes, of week A, because I want to listen LEP free archive every day, every work day of week B, and every weekend, like before. Yes, and I simply recommend you to do it, dear Labsters and other fans and followers of LEP. Listen to it again and again and again. It really improved my English. And thanks to using LEP Premium, I can improve my English. But yes, you can use and try the paid programs of All This English and Speaking with Podcast Now with Georgiana. But I'm not the paid user. I don't know. You have to discover it. I simply recommend you can if you know what is it. And yes, now I want to talk about Slovak and Czech English teaching platforms, because thanks to them I started to learn English in the right way, and I opened my eyes how to learn English thanks for jazykovým mentoring.sk and výuka aj online.cz. Lidka is a Slovak polyglot from Slovakia. She is the leader of jazykovým mentoring.sk, and her free videos on YouTube are about how to learn English in the right way. You can inspire yourself, and if you want, you can pay for her paid programs. And you have to watch the videos of Výuka aj online, and the leader is Eliška Krasna. She's an English teacher from Czechia, and her free videos on her Instagram or her free videos on her YouTube can teach you how to learn English in the right way. And she can inspire you for learning English like me with her free videos, because I was inspired by her free videos about how to learn English in the right way, and you can see that it works. And I want to recommend you can, if you are English learner from Slovakia and Czechia, simply do it. And what else? Yes, why I'm doing this podcast and my novel. You don't need, you can, who knows if you know it why? Because because Eliška from from Výuka aj online and Lidka from jazykový mentoring.sk explained that if you want to practice your speaking skills in English, you have to start practicing your writing skills, because you have to practice every kind of English learning, like your writing skills, speaking skills, pronunciation, grammar, and vocabulary. And thanks to practicing your writing skills in English, you can improve your output, because learning English is about input and output. But you have to start with your input. That means you have to listen to natural English, how it's spoken. And the best idea is start to listen my favorite English podcasts, because they are funny. And how to listen? You don't need to listen to it one episode in the one day. You can simply listening your favorite English podcast via your favorite podcast app whenever you have time. But how to listen? You don't need simply relax. You can do something at home. You can cook something. You can wash dishes. You can work in the garden, and that's great, because in the same time you can listen to your favorite English podcast and improve your English. Because if you want to speak English fluently, you have to know how natural English is spoken. And the second thing is, thanks to writing skills, you can improve your output. And Eliška from Vivka I Online explained in her free videos that you have to start write something. And the best idea is start to write your stories. Yes, because you can create your own characters, you can create your own novel in English, and you can publish it in your podcast. And why to do your podcast? And who is part B to do this podcast? Luke Thompson from Luke's English Podcast explained that start to do your own podcast. Thanks to it, you can practice your English, and I decided to publish my novel in my podcast, because the first main goal of this podcast was the publishing on my Peter fairy tales in English, and I do it until now, but with my novel, my vampire saga, Vera the Vampire Diary, and I decided that the best platform for publication of my novel is my podcast, and I do it until now. And thanks to my Ramble episodes, I can regularly practicing my speaking skills in English, and it works. Yay! I'm so happy that it works. And I discovered, until long using of Duolingo again, I have to do it. I have to tell it again and again, because it's true. I used to use Duolingo for a very long time, and it didn't improve my English. It's not true. It's only a game. In general, Duolingo can teach you. It's about American English. It's not about British English, and it only shows you funny stories, and you can do these stupid exercises that cannot teach you English. If you want to speak English fluently, the first thing you have to, as Luke said from Luke's English podcast, you have to listen, and listen natural English, how it's spoken. The best thing the best platform for it is my favorite English podcast about learning English, because they are about learning English. The second thing, you have to start, if you want to speak English fluently, you have to practice your speaking skills. This is the main thing. Do you think that you don't need to speak English? If you want to speak English fluently, you have to practice your speaking skills. And how to do it? The best idea is think in English and start your podcast, start your novel like me. And this is the best idea how to do it, people. Thanks to your own English podcast, you can practice your speaking skills, you can improve your appearance, and you can have a perfect hobby in your free time, because learning English is the best hobby how to spend your free time, because thanks to learning English you can open a lot of doors. Learning English can open for you a lot of doors. You can improve your life, you can travel around the world, you can work in English speaking countries, you can meet a lot of people, you can have better paid job, you can meet new friends, new love, everything is possible, and you can enjoy the big world of English content, because you can watch a lot of movies and series in English, You can listen to a lot of English podcasts and audiobooks. You can start your own podcast. You can start your own novel. You can practice your writing skills in English. You can practice your speaking skills in English, and you can publish, and you can be the publisher of your own novel, because I write my novel only for practicing my writing skills in English. And how I'm practicing my writing skills in English, I simply write in Slovak, in the Slovak version, into the chat of Microsoft Copilot, and Copilot translates it into natural spoken English, and I can learn from it. I can learn the natural English from my own story and improve my English. This is the main reason why I don't write in English, because this kind of writing in English would be about the help of Microsoft Copilot or AI or other AI chatbots. And why to do it? You can simply translate it. Use the help of AI chatbots that can translate the whole story. You can ask them why they translate it in this kind of English. They can help you with the vocabulary review, and you can add this new vocabulary in your list of your vocabulary, and that's great. Yes, I didn't add any kind of this English vocabulary, but I always do it. I always write in Slovak, and Copilot translates it into natural spoken English. And yes, you can hire your own English teacher. Why to do it in this modern era of learning English? Because you want to chat and speak with person like you, and your English teacher can be the coach. Your coach for practicing your speaking skills in English. Is very important to do it. I hired my own English teacher, and I've been and I have my English lesson with my English teacher for 2 years. Hi, my English teacher. Thank you for your great job. You are the best English teacher in the world. Thank you. And it's the end. And yes, people, the biggest thing, the best option, the best modern option how to learn English is use the help of AI chatbots. Thanks to the using of AI chatbot, you can really improve your English. Imagine the situation: you can ask for help of every AI chatbot, and you can speak with it in English. It can repair your grammar mistakes. You can chat with it about your favorite English podcast, about your novel, about your podcast, and that's great. Thanks to AI chatbots, I've improved my English. And don't believe that companies created these evil AI chatbots that want to replace humans. No, AI chatbots were created as creative partners. They were created as a tool for helping people, and that was the main goal. The main goal wasn't replace English podcasters or the chat with real humans. No, they were created for helping people. And don't be scared. You can write your personal information. Why? Because you always write your personal information into internet in general. Why do you think that using AI chatbot is dangerous? Because you have to write your personal information. Are you scared using internet in general? Because you write your personal information everywhere into thanks to internet. But thanks to using AI chatbots, you can improve your English. You can chat with English. AI chatbots can be very good English teachers. They can help you with your English really, and you can practice your English with them. And thanks to AI chatbots, I've improved my English. And yes, totally last thing of this live stream, because I'll be streaming for 1 hour. If you want to be the part of Peter's English Podcast community, because I'm thinking about Peter's English Podcast community, it has to be a community about real English learners like me, because I want to spend my time with people like me who are fascinated into learning English. You have to like learning English like you have to like learning English like me. You have to watch movies and series in English like me. You have to like listening to your favorite English podcast for learning English like me. You have to do your own podcast, and you have to do your own novel for learning English, because I want to spend my time with someone like me who like learning English, who is a podcaster and novelist like me, and we can create this funny episode where we can talk with each other during our live streams, and we can publish it as our official episode of our podcast, where we can talk with each other in English and practice our speaking skills in English. And okay, that's it. Oh, Peter, you are great. You have been streaming and recording your 1 hour Ramble episode for more than 1 hour, and it's enough. Okay, people. I want to thank you for watching. I want to thank you for your listening skills. Thank you for following my podcast. But you can write positive comments in English, of course, and supportive, because you can be blocked from my thanks to me. And thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Learn English, because learning English is for everyone. And I want to tell you my slogan, my jingle, and Bob's your uncle. Learn English, be successful, change your life, open a lot of doors, create your own podcast, write your own novel. You don't need to be talented, because learning English is for everyone. Okay, guys, thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and I want to tell you bye bye.